beauties. It's Whitney and Abigail. It took quite a bit of work to get her to this point. Also, I filmed her box opening. Click it in the doobly-doo or on little Abigail's face here. Click it, click it, click it. And before I go ahead and do the review, here's a look at her complete and done and finished. Here she is, so pretty. Be aware, dull nudity about to happen all up in here. As a reminder, she is a Soom Rosette School of Dolls Pure Camellia. She is 52.5 centimeters tall. As you can see, that height is mostly leg. Already the Rosette dolls are pretty odd on their own, as they neither really fit into the SD category or the MSD category. They are meant to be really long and willowy and have the appearance of around a 16-year-old. Probably the closest equivalent I've seen is a Lutz Junior Delph or something from Doll Chateau. The heads are very small. They're actually probably more of a YOSD over an MSD. Something to note is that when you do buy a Rosette School doll, you do get a free wig in there as well, but the wig is incredibly tight. Like, it took me forever to get that wig on, and there is no way it will stay on its own. You need to have like a wig cap or something. As for the head itself, it has a faceplate instead of a head cap. Actually, I think it makes things quite a bit easier when doing things like changing eyes. And something unique about the Rosette head is that the head is actually built specifically for Rosette eyes. There is a little system where the eye sockets, what do you call them, eye sockets? Where the eye sockets have these little notches that are meant for the eye to just pop in without using any eye putty or nothing. However, just looking on the website, I wasn't very fond of any of the eyes that Rosette offered. I found them all to be very flat and very boring in color, so I didn't invest any money in a pair of Rosette eyes. Rosettes do not, I repeat, do not come with eyes in their pure form. I initially bought a pair of 14mm eyes from Dollmore. Another disclaimer, the website says 12mm to 14mm eyes. So I got a pair of 14mm and they were way too big, like huge. They were sitting way back in the back of her head, and they were the only eyes I had, so I kept them in there until I could get a pair of new ones. Then I got a pair of 12mm from Soom, and they fit perfectly. But even then, they did not fit the eye system that Rosette made. As you can see, I had to use eye putty. Now let's take a look at the back of the head, shall we? It has the fancy Rosette logo in metal on the back of the head, which actually I don't have a doll that has that. This is the first doll that I bought that actually has that. And on the inside, it has a little logo embossed saying the model of the doll and the year the company was created, which is September 1st, 2008. Look at that. Moving on to the body. The sculpt work that was put into this is absolutely phenomenal. One thing to be aware of, because of the super long legs, it is very top heavy and you are going to have trouble getting this body to stand. But it is possible as long as you are patient and endure to the end. Also, I'm not sure if this is the way it is with Soom all the time, but she was strung really loosely. I had to do the most terrifying thing known to doll kind, and that was restringing my doll. This is the first time in all the 7, almost 8 years I've been in this hobby that I've ever had to restring anything. Let me tell you right now, it was not a good experience, and I don't want to go back to that for a very long time unless I have to. The shoulder joint has a lot of little grooves in it so that you can have her arms sit at any given position. She has a peanut. Also, just a note, Rosettes advertise all the time that they have these fancy little hand mechanisms for easy dressing. You're supposed to be able to pull out the hand, and then this little other part pops out and saves the S-hook from going in. However, I found out you only get that when you buy the full set, which are all sold out right now. If you buy it in the pure form, you do not get this fancy part. The torso is very thin, but it's actually about the same length as most MSDs. She has joints below her bust, which make for a lovely little slouch. And she has a little joint at her pelvic region, which is great because she can go back, she can go forward, and there's lots of little grooves, so she stays really well. The legs themselves are absolutely gorgeous. I love how she does have a little bit of a hip. She's not just a stick. The knee actually has a hidden peanut, which is really nice. You can't see it when it's like this. Actually, the calf and the thighs are shaped in such a way that you can do this. But they do come with knee pad parts that you can click right in there. Overall, Abigail is a beautiful, gorgeous doll and a fantastic addition to my collection. She fits in the family extremely well, and sometimes I'm even surprised by how lovely she really is in person. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram under WhitneyBird13, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Bye bye birdies.